Oh, you got your YouTube fixed. It's working.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to see. Yep, I have to dump all the cookies. And then I'll have to mute here.
Neil, was that you that took that picture of the cats down in our neck of the woods? The picture that circulated with all those cats on the porch?
No, I did not take it, but it was forwarded to me and I just forwarded it on.
Oh, okay.
I think Marge took it.
Marge took it? One of those
Yeah.
pictures in the
Not to
magazine.
drop any names.
Count the
Oh.
number of cats you see, 13 I counted.
There's more.
Oh, I'm sure. Wasn't any more room on the porch.
I'm trying to remember the phone number there.
Saw Dave Gouts down working on the parking payment processing machine by the
Yeah.
lighthouse.
Yeah, we had some problems with the
Right.
printer jammed up. And
Yeah, for some reason a dime got in the printer part.
Oh, wow.
So he had to pull it all apart and try and get it out. And yeah.
Can you hear me?
is that Stacy?
You got it.
Hi, Stacy. Mike.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
You see your
Hold on,
serial
I'll get my-
number.
No, Dr. Kojo.
How do you get your picture up there?
Welcome, Dr. Kojo. We're just about
Thank
ready.
you. Thank you, Mayor Gardner. Good evening.
How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Feeling quite good.
Well, good. That's good to hear.
It's been a while. I'll tell you, it's been a struggle.
You've been through some stuff, haven't you?
Yes,
It's COVID. My God.
yeah. Yeah, and I was through most of the symptoms, but I just didn't feel good.
It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you here.
Thank you.
There's Jeff Meadows. How are you, Jeff?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi, Jeff.
hello.
Like you're in the fire, Jeff.
Yeah, you got your tanning light on. It's a little red tint.
How do you get your picture up there?
Camera.
You have your start video on?
Yeah. Start video.
Mhm.
Start video.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
So I have two more people joining, and I believe one of them is
Hey, Chief.
Chief Ansel. And Chief Denias. And then we will start right on time. Oh,
No, I don't see a flag behind you.
I have a virtual flag. We have Christmas trees and the whole house is decorated. Not that we're not patriotic this time of year, we just,
Is Derek coming tonight?
Derek is working, so he couldn't make it.
Okay.
I'm thinking, is that Chief Ansel there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Oh.
Jeff, you been out in the sun too much today?
I'm not getting any sound.
Oh, no wonder you can't hear me.
We can hear you.
Oh, I'm going to send him a chat message that we don't do during the meeting. To tell him that we can hear him.
Can he call in on his phone?
He can.
If you can
I'm gonna
hear
ask,
us.
I'm gonna ask a silly question, but what button do you press to see everybody, or don't you do that? We don't need to do that, right? You know, where you see everybody?
On an iPhone, it's a little bit tougher
Okay, well, no big deal. I
because
just wondered.
it's such a small square.
Okay,
It's
All right.
Tell who's who.
no biggie.
How do you get rid of it? I got it, everybody on there now. I can't get rid of it.
There should be in the top right corner.
Top right corner.
There should be it says view, and it looks like a little checkerboard there. And you can switch back and forth between the speaker view and the Hollywood Squares type view.
Oh, well.
I prefer the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, it's Brady Bunch. Yep, that works.
You won't go in there.
Unless I can be Paul Lynde.
You can be here if you want.
Sounds like Jeff's sound is not working.
Probably due to his new haircut.
That's a nice do. I like that.
I think Neil had the same problem last time. Did you, Neil, that you couldn't hear? Or was it, there was one time your sound wasn't working and had to log out. It may not have been last meeting.
Yeah, that was it was a earphone problem.
Did anybody else hear that helicopter that went over just a little bit ago?
Yep, I did.
I happened to be standing on my front porch, and it was coming from like Mercy, Monroe, and it came over. It got right over about 75 and slowed down. I was trying to find out if they were on a call or something, but I couldn't tell.
No, I don't know. I heard it though.
We're running just a little bit late, but looks like Jeff is going to try to log back on. Yep. We might have two of them, but one of them will be his audio.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yep, we can hear you now.
I'm not getting anything from you guys.
Oh,
Can't hear us at all, Jeff? We see you twice.
Yeah, I see him twice.
That's not gonna work.
Okay, how's that?
You might
I'll
have to,
Holy smokes.
You have to turn the audio off on the computer.
You're gonna have to get rid of one,
Now we can't hear you.
and you're muted.
Got to unmute, yeah.
How's that?
we can hear you.
Better.
Yay!
All right, you're in.
You're not in the
Never
fu-
been accused of a high-tech guy.
Well, we won't start now. But, glad you're here and up and running, and I will share my screen here. Welcome everyone to our council meeting, December 10th, 2020. The meeting is being live streamed right now on the City of Luna Pier YouTube channel. The meeting will be recorded and it will be available at City Hall if you would like to hear a recording of it. We ask that everyone knows by now, but to mute your mic if you're not speaking, because we do get some feedback and sounds as we experience. Mind your camera angle. The whole world is watching. These videos go viral, these council meetings. If viral is 20 people, but it's better than we usually get. The phone number to call in for public comment is 734-848-6495. We will post that again when we get to the public comment section, but we do want to hear from the public, and that is your chance to call City Hall, and they will either relay your message or put you on to speak to council with your public comment. And I will post that again later in the meeting when we get to that time of the meeting. At this time, I'll ask Councilwoman Gramza if she will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Gramza. At this time, we'll go to the roll call and ask everyone to state where you are joining us from, your physical location, just to make sure we are all compliant and not sitting on a tropical beach. You can sit on our beach, but not a tropical beach.
Gramza,
I am present in Luna Pier.
Grimes,
President in Luna Pier.
Meadows,
Here in lovely Luna Pier.
Wakeman,
Here in Luna Pier.
Anstett,
Here in Luna Pier.
Rich Russell is absent. Mayor Gardner,
Here from sunny Luna Pier, or dark and warm Luna Pier. Thank you, Jolene. At this time, we have the minutes of November 12th that you all have a copy of. It was a Zoom online meeting, and the approval of the agenda. We'll cover those two if I can get a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda and the minutes of November 12th, 2020 as presented, and waive the reading.
Support,
We have a motion, we have support. Is that Councilwoman Gramza?
yes.
We have a motion and support. Do we have any comments? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. Now for paying our bills. We have bills of warrant. Do we have a motion?
I do have a question. What is the building that's going up on Evans Drive?
That is Joe Johnson's building that they started. That's been through the planning commission. He's moving his operations farther west. He'll use that as his garage, and the existing building will be more storage. And it was approved with some discussion by the planning commission. Everyone really pretty much agreed. It was unanimous that he could move it back there, and it would be good for everyone.
Well, having said that, I will propose a motion to approve the bills of warrant number 14048 unpaid in the amount of $59,217.95, as well as bills of warrant number 14049 paid in the amount of $20,978.62 as presented, and waive the reading.
Thank you. I heard a support there. Who is
Mike.
Anstead? Thank you much. Any discussion? If not, we'll go to a roll call vote.
Gramza,
Yes.
Grimes,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Anstett,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carried. At this time, we'll give the floor to Dr. Kojo from Monroe Community College. I'll stop sharing my screen so we can see him. Dr. Kojo, you are on.
All right. Well, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Gardner and Council. Good evening. I just want to take a couple of minutes. I'm here just to say two things, and one is to thank you. Our millage renewal passed overall in the county. We won over 60% of the votes in the county, and compared to 52% 4 years ago. And it's a renewal, and so I want to thank you for that. Unfortunately, in Luna Pier, it didn't pass, but I understand you've had some challenges with your own millage, but there were actually, it passed by, there were 47% of the residents in Luna Pier voted in support of the college millage, while I think for your own millage, it was less than that. And that's unfortunate, but we appreciate you. I remember when I came through Luna Pier, leaving material at different businesses. One of my first stops was Chateau Louise, and I ordered one of those big burgers, went on and made some rounds. And by the time I was done with my rounds, I was able to go back and pick up my burger. And so very delicious. But I just want to say thank you for your support in Luna Pier, and anything we could do to help you in Luna Pier, we will as a college. And then the second is there's a program called Futures for Frontliners. That's free community college for anybody who's considered a frontliner, and that goes beyond healthcare workers. It includes anybody who was an essential worker during this pandemic. The deadline to apply, and you can go on our webpage. It's a very simple application. The deadline to apply is December 31st, and it's free. No, it's not a gimmick. Free community college for anybody who's considered a frontliner. And so, if you could encourage anyone and everyone to just go and apply for that Futures for Frontliners program, and they can attend Monroe County Community College for free. So once again, thank you. And we do have a program available for all of you. And Mayor Gardner, it is good to see you. I read in the paper where you had some challenges with you and your wife with COVID. So it is good to see you. This is a very serious disease. It's very serious, and it's like it kills, and many have died. And so we're glad to see you alive and well. And so that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, Dr. Kojo.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry. What was that called again? Frontline?
Yeah, Futures for Frontliners.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Reed Community College.
Now that includes, I know it includes firefighters,
Yes.
police officers.
Firefighters, police officers, anybody who's considered an essential worker, restaurant workers,
Oh, okay.
deliverers.
So that would include our treatment plant workers.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Please encourage them all to apply. The application goes directly to the state, and then after that, they will apply to us. The state sends that information to us. Then it goes from there.
Very good. What a great
Thank you.
program.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Kojo.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, it's always good to hear from Dr. Kojo. He is someone I admire and respect very greatly. Now for the mayor's report. This is the thank you for Rich and Bernie. Unfortunately, they are not able to be here. I knew they were doing most of their moving today. And normally we would have cake. We would have a big celebration, coffee, and the community, and people usually show up for those kinds of council meetings. And I'm sure we would have gotten a crowd. Rich has been serving on council since 2004. Bernie, although not serving on council, served the community in many different capacities over the years. You see the fireworks here. She was part of the Freedom Festival committee, a charter member of that committee. She was a treasurer for that committee. They were both involved heavily in the Luna Pier Business Association. I think going back many years, they did work with Bernie worked with the DDA, served there for many years. They've just really served our community, and we really need to thank them. I hope everyone will take the time to reach out to them and thank them for all that they have done for our community. And we really appreciate that and both their service. 2004, Rich was the longest serving councilman and still is. So that is an honor. And we thank him for his service, and Bernie also working with him. Moving on, this 2020, definitely the year of uncertainty. We started out with great aspirations. We finished them. I was looking back over the different reports. We started out with getting our speed sign lined up. We got our police and fire radios all settled. And right about that time, COVID changed everything. If you remember, we took action right away as the seriousness of this pandemic unfolded. We closed the city hall to walk-in traffic. We started staggering our hours. We started limiting contact between employees as much as possible, and really working with the public, doing everything that City Hall needs to do, serving the public, but doing it at a distance and doing it safely. And it really paid off. We temporarily closed one of our beach parking lots to limit the amount of people on the beach the first nice day we had. That was a very tough decision. It was not a popular decision, but I believe it was the right decision. We needed to get our COVID act together, and we were just learning at that time. As the summer went on, we were able to open it when we learned a little bit more how COVID spreads, and being outside on a sunny day is one of the best places to be, as long as people kept their distance, and for the most part, people did, and we were able to open up the beach. We developed our COVID response plan as required. And it was refreshing to go through the plan and see all the requirements. And we were doing pretty much everything on that plan that's required already. And we just had to document what we were doing. And we thank everyone for their cooperation. Everyone with the city was very good about taking this seriously. And the residents did too. We really didn't get any pushback from residents. Some of the things we did were created a YouTube channel, a City of Luna Pier YouTube channel for the first time. We had our first ever virtual council meeting on April 23rd. We managed unprecedented numbers of beach visitors. We moved on to the outdoor meetings, I think, if you remember, for a while. We filed petitions and held a primary election during a pandemic. That was a challenge, but you rose to that challenge and pulled it off. The fall, we continued to meet. We started with indoor meetings for a while, if you remember, but then the fall case rates started to increase and we went back to the virtual meetings, which we're doing now. Then your mayor tested positive for COVID. I'm happy to say that there were no city worker exposures because of the precautions that we had in place. I found out early that I was exposed and went into isolation right away. And then when I tested positive, I didn't have to go back and call people and tell them that you need to go get tested because I probably gave COVID to you. I didn't have any contact with anybody outside it. And as far as I know, my case ended with me. I did not spread it to anybody else. And I'm very thankful for that. It's important to consider that anytime that you could find yourself without symptoms spreading COVID, and think of that, that you always could be positive and act that way so you don't have to go back and wish you did things differently. That's just my advice from going through it. And we did have some cases. We did a couple of cases among city employees. I think they were limited. There was no spread that I know of within the city between workers because of the precautions that we enacted, and it really did work. And we pulled off, I should say, Jolene and the poll workers and Dee, they pulled off an incredible feat with the fall elections during a pandemic. That took a lot of work. A lot of things changed. A lot of things were uncertain. You just can't imagine how much work that took and how quickly things changed, how you would get an answer one day and it would change the next day. And other things that they really needed to know, the information was not out there. It was an incredible challenge. Hats off to Jolene and Dee and all of the poll workers that really pulled that off. That was an amazing accomplishment. Moving
Mr.
on.
Mayor, there was an interesting rumor that went around that everybody on council got COVID from you.
No. I will put that one to rest. I'm glad you shared that because no, I went into isolation right away and I didn't give it to anybody. I did not leave the house. I was here with my wife and she already had it. So I did not spread it around. And it's part of it is luck that I found out about the exposure first. That did really help. But as far as I know, I did not have any contact with anybody to spread it. We made significant progress on our lighthouse. We got the electrical, all the wiring put in. We put a furnace in. We are heating it with gas now instead of electric heaters. And still, before we had gas service that we were paying just to have the service and no furnace in there. Now we're at least heating it with the furnace, the gas furnace, and getting something for our bill there. We completed the elevator shaft, the steps, the drywall installation around there. The main thing is we successfully fix those leaks that were there from the day it was built. That was that gave me the most heartburn and concerned me the most, because it was built to leak and we had to find out why and correct that. And our contractor did a great job with that. We ended fiscal year 2019-2020 without spending down our reserves. If you watch the It's a Wonderful Life Christmas special, at the part where they saved the bank with $2 in their hand, that's kind of how we did it. But we ended with not spending down our reserves. This is the second fiscal year in a row that we were able to do that. And hats off to everybody that the council, Jolene and Dee, Dave and his crew, everybody really chipped in. The police department, the fire department, everybody really sharpened their pencils and cut down any unnecessary spending to make that budget work. And the residents of Luna Pier deserve credit too, because there were things that we would like to do that we just couldn't do. And they had to live without some things that we wish we could do, but we balanced the budget and we're moving forward. We're moving in the right direction. We completed our treatment plant upgrade. I'll take credit for the other one twice because it's such a big one, but we were able to apply for and were granted the FRHBP, the First Responder Hazardous Pay Premium process or program. That was a grant that allowed us to give bonuses to our police officers and firefighters. And it came at a good time before Christmas, and they really were out there on the front line and really deserved that. We did complete our successful farmers market with modifications. We always get very good feedback from that. I think it's a great thing for our community. People come from out of town just to visit our farmers market. And we put money in the coffers of the Parks and Rec every year. Lecler's, I can't say enough about Lecler's. They donated this great looking lawnmower, 41 horsepower Yamaha engine on that bad boy, and it cuts grass at 10 miles per hour. We needed that terribly. Our old lawnmowers are just getting worn out. They'll be up for sale in the spring. If you want to buy a used lawnmower, that's great for residential, but they won't hold up for mowing an entire city and using them every day. They donated one lawnmower and they sold us the second mower at a significantly reduced price. We couldn't have gotten anywhere near that price, even on a used one of that caliber. So thank you to Lecler's. They were good to us this year. We have some challenges coming up. We still aren't out of the woods. We're a lot closer with the vaccine coming up. That's going to take a while, but we're almost there. We're probably in the hardest part of a marathon right now. And we can't quite see the end, but we're getting closer. So keep up the good work. Our police millage defeat, that is probably our biggest challenge right now, our short-term challenge. Without it, we would be down to about 2 part-time officers for our entire department. That wouldn't they'd give us very, very little coverage. Our challenges are keeping businesses open in Luna Pier. They are really struggling right now, and we need to do all that we can to support them. If there are grant opportunities, we are looking for them and passing them on. The former J.R. Whitting site, that's our sleeping giant down there that we need to keep working on. As far as I know, there's the proposal I sent to you earlier, that is a very low chance of coming through, but they are still marketing it. The lighthouse is we're making good progress on it, but we still have a ways to go, and we will keep working on that. And our transition out of COVID-19, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel, to get back going again, have our Freedom Festival again, meet with people again and have the party that we've earned over this past year. We really look forward to that. The other thing I want to implement this year is some safety training. Coming through Ford Motor Company, I was just drilled with safety training, and it really makes a difference. And I was kind of surprised to learn that we really haven't had that much safety training over the years. You know, confined space, entry, working at heights. There's just a lot of areas that we need safety training to avoid accidents, and it does work. And you can show that when you institute this training, you have fewer accidents, and we need to protect our workers that way. There's one more item on my report. Over the years, we have rented a field for $200 a year to John Gagne. It's just been an ongoing agreement. It's a fairly small parcel, and it abuts his existing property. So he's in there farming it, his field, and he rents the part from the city. We've never really put it out to bid before. It's not a lot of money. It would be not that advantageous to anybody who didn't own the adjoining field to come in here and farm the few acres there. This is over several administrations. We've just renewed this, and I'm looking at it and getting council's approval or getting a council's opinion on that. Should we put that up for council action? Or do you trust that we should just continue the way we're doing it, publicly announce that we're doing it? It's not something we are required to put out for bid. It's just, if you're okay with it, I will go ahead and sign it, because he wants to continue with renting that field. He's been quite responsible with his farming. Any opinions on that?
How much money does it generate, just out of curiosity?
It's $200 a year is what he gets, but I mean, you mean how much he gets out of his?
Well, how much does he pay us? 200?
He pays us $200. Now, it would be hard to find out how much money he gets from his crop, because
We don't care about it.
yeah, he's got investment in tractors and fuel and risk and everything else. But
I propose that we just continue.
okay, yeah,
I agree.
Okay, I'm just looking for a consensus now. I just wanted to be transparent and let everybody know this is how we're doing it, so there's no accusation that we have an inside agreement. He just happens to own the property next to it, and it would not be advantageous for anybody else. Now, we could develop that property if we had a use for it, and this is not a binding agreement. So if we found a better use for that property where the city could generate more tax money from it, we could do that. And I'd like to keep that out in the public, that we do have a potential source of revenue there.
I don't think it would hurt to find out. I don't think it's that tough to do the math on what type of revenue he'd be generating off of that square area based on his expenses and yield and all that. That shouldn't be that tough for him to figure that out for us. I think it would be nice for us to know, so that we don't just have this
Right.
$200 thing that's been going on for years, and there's been no cost of living increase or anything like that, or cost of goods increase or anything. It would be nice to know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's too much to ask. Secondly, what the size of the property as well, and what the access to it is in that. So if something like downtown development did have an idea for it, then it would give them the opportunity to consider it.
Yes, it is behind the housing unit, public housing unit. That is a section of it. It's not that entire field. It's just a section of that field. He owns part of it, and I think another resident owns one section that I don't think it's farmed, but it's part of that field. So we can look into that and we have time. He's not going to plant it till the spring, so I have not
How
signed
long
it
have we been leasing it?
I don't know the answer. I know it goes back to the previous mayor and the mayor before that. And I'm not sure how, it's probably as
And the
as
mayor
long as I
before
remember.
that.
Yes, it's as long as I remember that's been farmed. I've cross-country
And-
skied across that.
But he
many
may be
times.
getting a really good deal, so
Yeah.
I think it's due diligence that we find out.
Okay,
And
I will-
the property doesn't have any street access to it.
correct.
So
It does
there's
not.
no infrastructure in there at all.
That's correct. To develop that, it would take a lot of money. But we can look into that, and I'll do that. I'm not in a hurry to sign this at all. We can do our homework on it. I think that's
Well,
responsible.
I
thing to
think
do.
if he does his homework and gives us the numbers, because I would think by the first of the year, he kind of has to know if he's going to need to buy seed and everything else to put in
Yep.
there. So if we let him know we need this information, he knows what it
Yeah.
is.
It would be nice to know if we are just getting fair market
Yes.
value.
Yep, I agree. I agree with that. That's why I hesitated to just go ahead and sign it and do it over again. Any other comments? I'm not putting it on council action, but we'll do our homework on it.
I don't
That's
have any
all.
comments about that farm field anymore, but I think there's one other thing that you mentioned, a lot of accomplishments that have happened in the last year, but maybe one, whether it's appropriate here or not, I think our flood protection efforts
Yes.
have really been stellar. I'm so impressed with the way we get ahead of those things and keep spending the money to do the repairs so that, and then the way our
Yes.
team of employees, when there's a flood coming in, a flood threat coming in, how they jump right on it and are ahead of it. So we've really avoided so much potential damage. And so Stacy's on here, I think, and I'd like to
Yes.
thank him. And I think the whole team has done a great job with that as I see it up close.
Thank you. I will agree with that. And I always take the opportunity to tell how hard the residents of Ellen Cove work to protect their homes down there. They own their own pumps. They operate them. They're all hands on deck when something happens, and they really do their work down there. And the amount of money we spend down there, people think it's a lot of money. It is a very, very small portion of our flood control budget, very small, in fact, and they pay a lot of into it. So we are getting our money's worth because those are all lakefront homes and they pay the flood millage too. And so they are helping finance our flood protection system, and they're not taking advantage of the city. They work really hard down there. But our hats off to the flood and erosion protection team. They do a great job there, and they really have saved the city and made remarkable improvements. And the dike repairs are ongoing. I was a little disappointed that they didn't get more done when we had low water in the fall, but they are working on it. Any other questions about the mayor's report? Now we'll move on to department reports. Chief Ansel, do you have anything, any comments you want to chime in?
The only thing I guess I'd want to share is the building down at the range. Dave has helped, Gouts has helped with this project and making sure and ensuring that we have some heat. I just landed an agreement about a week and a half ago where we'll have a porta-john down there donated to us. We're about ready to get that up and running, and I have at least 3, possibly 4 interested parties that are interested in renting that space, that building for training. And we're going to charge a fee for them to have this on an annual basis. They can use it. They can lock into the schedules whenever they like. They just kind of call ahead of time. But there'll be a fee that they'll have to pay. And I think it's going to be something, we've kind of split this with the city. I think it was agreed that the police department and the city itself would do this kind of on a 50-50 basis. And it's really going to help the department as far as some equipment and or having mostly to deal with ammunition and that type of thing, equipment that we would need for our own regular training. And then the city can also offset whatever they need to offset for some. I mean, it's not going to be anything crazy, but it's something that we didn't have before. And I think it's definitely going to be a worthwhile endeavor. I don't think it's going to backfire on us. I think it'll be a good thing. And
Yes.
So anyway, that's the only thing we've got there. The winter months here is we've been holding our own. There's been no rash of any kind of particular crimes that we've been dealing with on a regular basis. Our guys are out there on a regular basis. I will say that we have pulled back the reins, so to speak, with, you know, we're a proactive police department. However, with the way things are right now, we're just kind of holding back on our normal activity. And it's working out well. There's no problems. There's no issues with us pulling back the reins a little bit. I haven't had any complaints. So I hope all is well on your end as far as enforcement of or actions taken or not taken. And certainly if there's any issues, you know, bring it to my attention and we'll definitely look at it and take care of it. I don't have anything other than there is a meeting for litigation next Monday. I'm going to try to get some of that behind us, which I think most of you might be familiar with that. But I'll keep everyone posted on that. And the only other thing that I do have is on the animal ordinance. That is coming together. I did speak with Phil Costello. He's agreed with it. He wants, I believe, 1 or 2 very minor changes on it.
I think we have it all set. I think we got all those in place now.
Yes. I mean, he just emailed me, I don't know, 4
Okay.
days ago, maybe 5. So going to add those few little things that he wanted added. And I think we're good to go. And the final draft should be done. I'll actually have it done by Monday on my end. So that's all I have.
Okay, one thing you brought up that it's about the building down there. Everyone needs to know that the city did not buy that building. That was a grant, and we took it because Homeland Security wanted it to have a convenient place for them to have their training. They gave us the money to buy it pretty much. And then we're allowed to generate revenue from that by renting it out to other departments. So
That is correct. That's correct.
It isn't something that the police department just took our hard-earned money and went out and bought. We're very fortunate to have that because it will be a generator for the city, and we still own it. You know, it belongs to us.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank
Sure.
you.
You
If
bet.
I could ask the chief a question, because we have this animal control ordinance on the agenda. So, Brett, if you know, I mean, if what you gave me, this is not completed yet, is that what you're saying?
I submitted the ordinance to Phil to look over, and I just got a response from him, I want to say 4 days ago. I have to add 1 or 2 lines he wants changed. He wants, I think they're additions. And it's just very minor, a word here and a word there. But yes, he wants a few changes. I got that 4 days ago, and I was going to do that, probably wrap that up on Monday and add one was a line or a half a paragraph or a half of a sentence actually, and one was changing a word. That's all. Wants to make sure that we're looking truly at an animal ordinance, and that we're not targeting any specific animal, which we are not. I was very I was very assured that after reading it, that we weren't going after a specific type of dog. That was a consideration, and that had nothing. His changes had nothing to do with that, but that was discussed, and I went over that with pretty much fine tooth comb, and we're not specifically targeting any specific dog, and that was pretty important.
So we may want to table that when we come to it.
Yeah, we might, yeah.
I'll have it wrapped up completely on Monday.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Sure.
I believe our fire chief is with us tonight.
Yes. You
Welcome.
ready?
Yes, I am ready. You guys have had a very busy week here.
A little bit, yeah. Let's see. First of all, so far this year, we've had 173 calls, 822 man hours. That's not just the calls, but also everything else that gets done at the fire hall. A lot of people think that the only time we ever go down there is when we have calls or drills, but believe it or not, there's things that go on there all throughout the day. Just kind of as an update so that people know that we are doing things. As we've reported before, for the month of December, we're not having any drills or meetings. We're going to wait until January 1st to do that, or in January, I should say. We had 2 of the grants that the air packs, I haven't got a confirmed date, but they should be here sometime in either January or early February. The auto pulse should be also being shipped out at the very end of January. So those are 2 that they have been basically ordered. We're just waiting for them to come in now. There was a discussion about the hydrants, making sure they're working and stuff like that. And yes, we have had hydrants that go out, but usually South County Water is pretty good about telling us when they're out. We just had the one in front of our fire hall. It quit working. It wouldn't shut off. So we had to call them and tell them, and they had it fixed in like 2 days. So, any questions for me?
Yeah, if anybody read that big fire at Toledo Beach, there were inoperable hydrants down there, correct?
There was, from what I understand, because I wasn't on scene, but from what I understand, there was one hydrant that was completely inoperable, and the other hydrants had gotten turned off somewhere back towards South Otter Creek. I guess they shut the whole line down. Why, I don't know. But they shut the whole line down, and they had to call South County Water to come turn them back on. Like I said, I have no idea if that's a normal thing or just somehow coincidentally it happened and nobody thought twice about it. But yes, that's my understanding of it.
Yeah, that's what brought up the question about how do we make sure ours are all working. So it's good to hear that you're on it.
South County Water goes through every year towards the end of or beginning of fall, whatever, just before it starts to get cold to where it would freeze, and they actually pump all the hydrants. So they're doing 2 things. One, they're making sure they actually work, and second, they're getting the water out of the hydrant to make sure that it's not going to freeze.
Okay.
They winterize all of the hydrants.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there will be intense discussion over the beach incident, but
I'm just glad it wasn't in Lenape.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything else?
I think that's it. Great job. I heard you had a successful raffle with your,
We did fairly decent considering the fact that we couldn't actually have, we made about $1,300.
oh, good. Great.
So
And
after all, everything, we had a couple people come up and actually donate money, just literally give us a check and donate it.
great, great. During a pandemic, that's, we'll take it.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chief. And
Thanks, Chief.
we'll move on to our building report. I'm sure everyone had a chance to look that over. Any questions on that? Committee reports. I think this would be a good time for our police subcommittee. If anybody, Stacy or Dawn, you have any comments to make? Obviously,
Yeah.
we did make a few mistakes on our millage, then we're trying to correct them. Go ahead, Stacy.
Well, Dawn and I have talked about this, and we have different options available to us, but we feel that the best option is to ask for a 1.9 mil. This is actually a reduction of 0.1 over what we're currently paying. Most of the residents that I've talked to, they really didn't understand on the election. They thought it was a new millage and not a renewal. So we're going to have to do some hard work on this thing to get that out to the public and make sure that they understand this is not a new millage that we're asking for. We can't use the word renewal because we can't put it in at the 2%. So that's the reason we dropped down to the 1.9, and we think this is probably the best avenue for us to take. But we're going to have to do some legwork on it and make sure the community understands that it is not a new millage. It's something that they're already paying, but there is a slight reduction in it.
Good. Anything to add to that, Dawn?
Not really. I think we could maybe say that we're saving people money.
Yes, it is a reduction.
It's a reduction.
And-
So
And there is a case to be made of we would lose revenue by not having a police force.
yes, we would. I don't think that's the ideal thing. but
No, because
I
we
think
don't.
we will by
Yeah.
saying it will be a reduction for people. It may be a few dollars, but
Yeah.
the way things have been, I think most people would be appreciative to save a few dollars.
Yes, and there are things going on in the county. I heard a story of, there was a string of burglaries, and a lot of people around the county got hit. And it's a lot harder to pull off in Luna Pier when you have a police presence, and it's just a lot of times not worth it. And that's what's so important about a police department. We have a safe community. It's the safest community in Monroe County, and we want to keep it that way. We did learn from Jolene that May would be the earliest we could do a renewal. March is not available. You can't legally put our millage on in March. And
That gives us some time to
yes.
get the word out, and so people understand what we're doing. So
Yes.
that's probably better for us.
Yeah, and Jolene did a lot of work to try to get answers. It's very difficult to get answers from the state. They're facing COVID, and they're running the same kind of things we are with quarantines and positive cases. They are really strapped. And there are communities in our area that their township halls are closed and have been closed for some time, completely closed because of COVID cases. So we're doing the right thing here.
Well, and I did find out too, that if we do it in May, the verbiage has to be through Lansing and done and at the county by February 9th.
Okay.
So that's the date that it has to be all done, completed, run through the state of Michigan and back to the county to go on the ballot.
So it needs to get done in January.
Yes, absolutely. And also there is 2 other, I called Sharon Lemasters, the county clerk, and she said there are 2 other proposals that will be on the May ballot. They're both countywide. And so it will mean that we will only have to pay for 1/3 of the cost.
Wonderful.
So that will help the city immensely.
Good, thank you, Jolene. That it's everybody's been scrambling. It may not look like we're doing things, but we're not just sitting on our hands. And thank you, Dawn and Stacy, for running with this. We are. This is a high priority, probably one of the highest priorities we have, at least in the short term. And if we have to have a meeting before the end of the year, we will. Just a warning. We have to. If it comes to that. Old business, we have none. Moving on to new business, we have the ordinance animal control, which I would maybe look for somebody to table that. If we need to add it, we have to make sure that's right. We need a solid ordinance on that. Appointment of Robert Denias as fire chief for 2021. The Gleaners mobile food pantry agreement. I put that on the agenda because we are actually using city property, even though it really doesn't cost us anything. They provide the people, the volunteers. We add a couple of volunteers to do it. It's only 2 hours a month, and a lot of residents of Luna Pier take part in it. Especially now, there are people who really got blindsided, and it's a struggle to get food for them. So I put that agreement on there for 6 months. And we're going to do some oath of office ahead of time so that we don't have a lapse in council coverage. When the clock strikes midnight, we want to do it ahead of time, and they'll automatically go into their elected terms already sworn in. At this time, we'll open it up to community input. This is a part where we take our little sort of an intermission to give the feed time to get out onto YouTube. It's about a 30-second delay, and we'll wait and give people a chance to call 734-848-6495. And Jolene will answer at City Hall if we have any public comment. We always welcome. We always welcome public comment. So we can talk amongst ourselves. Is everybody done with their Christmas shopping?
It's not the 24th yet, is it?
No.
Oh, then I'm not done.
I'm a little nervous. I do have a package sitting up at Allen Park at U.S. Postal where that whole line of trucks is waiting 20 hours to unload.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if I'll see that one before Christmas, but
you might. I mean, I've gotten all my packages through the mail, but the Amazon truck makes a daily stop at my house. It seems it's not a good thing.
I kind of wonder. I keep asking Amy if they're running out of stock yet, because it's all coming to our house. But
I'm helping the economy.
City of Luna Pier.
Yep. Yep, you try to get local as much as possible, but there are some things. Luckily, the thing I'm waiting on is not a gift,
Oh, that's good.
so I'm not too worried about it. I can live without it.
If anybody can buy gift certificates at the Chateau or Ganders,
Yes.
please.
Yes. Great suggestion. Looks like we have a phone call.
We just got a phone call from Marge Steibel, and she just wants to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you, Marge, and same to you.
Thank you, Marge.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Marge.
Well, I won't belabor this. I think everyone had a chance to call in. At this time, we will move on to council action. And everyone, remember, you can contact City Hall at any time, and we will get back with you. We do like to hear from the public. Good or bad, we like to hear it.
Oh, I got a phone call here.
I think I can do this. Reopen the comment just in case.
We have another phone call. I'm going to put her on speaker for you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Davis. I'm the chairman of the Parks and Rec Committee, and I'm calling with a suggestion. I personally spoke to Pastor French of the Luna Pier Baptist Church in regards to people parking in the parking lot during the fishing season, spring, summer, fall. And we discussed a way to prevent that so that people would have to park down near the pier and pay the parking fee to generate revenue. And Pastor French said the only way that that would be possible is if the city of Luna Pier was able to put up a fence around the parking lot with a gate so that he could lock it.
Yeah. We can discuss that. And I'll give Pastor French a call and we can talk about it.
Okay.
Because that we usually don't comment back and forth, but I will say that we are all for. Obviously, it's a problem for them, and it's a problem for us because people park there when there are spaces in the public parking.
Thank you for your comment.
Wait on Jolene here. Are we all set, Jolene?
We are all set.
Okay. I think it's safe. Appreciate the comments from our residents or anybody that calls in. On to council action. Ordinance number 191, animal control.
I make a motion that we table any decision on ordinance number 191-A animal control until the further refinements through the city lawyer and Chief Ansel have had time to make the last changes needed.
Support.
We have a motion. We have support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. The motion is carried to table the animal control ordinance for now. Are we okay doing that, Jolene,
Yes.
procedurally?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, you can. Sure.
Reappointment of Robert Denias as fire chief.
No way.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to reappoint for the reappointment of Robert Denias as fire chief for the year 2021. As presented, waive the reading.
Support.
We have a motion. We have support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you, Robert, for your service to us. It's a huge sacrifice, and we really appreciate
Thank you.
keeping us
Thank
safe.
you, sir.
Thank you, Bob.
Congratulations.
Derek will be happy.
Yes. The Gleaners USDA Mobile Food Pantry Agreement. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Gleaners Mobile Food Pantry Agreement as presented and waive the reading.
Support.
I think I heard Gramza first.
Was it Gramsa?
Councilwoman Gramza first.
Doesn't matter.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Now it's the time to do the honors, and we'll start with Councilwoman Gramza. If you would raise your right hand and repeat. I, Dawn Gramza, do solemnly swear
I, Dawn Gramza, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of councilwoman
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of councilwoman
for the city of Luna Pier.
for the city of Luna Pier.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. We will get the signed copies at City Hall. Next up, Councilman Wakeman. If you'd raise your hand and repeat after me. I, Neil Wakeman, do solemnly swear
I, Neil Wakeman, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of councilman
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of councilman
for the city of Luna Pier.
for the city of Luna Pier.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you and congratulations, Councilman
Congratulations.
Wakeman. And we will probably catch up with future Councilman Welton tomorrow and do his, and then when stroke of midnight, you will be on the council once again. Any council input? It's been a
I
long
do.
meeting. Go ahead.
I have a comment regarding the parking at the church.
Okay,
I think the pastor has to post it
yes,
like they do at the chateau.
yes. That
And
is,
then he can follow through if he's got a problem with people parking there.
that is true that on a public, a parking lot that's open to the public like that, that if it has to be posted before you can legally tow somebody. If it's on private property, your own property, you can have somebody towed for any reason. But not on a lot that's open like that. So I will call him and we'll discuss it.
Yeah,
I have his phone
because
number.
the store has it posted and so does the Chateau both, so.
Correct. Yep, and I know that's a legal requirement to have it posted, or you can't. So
Right.
you can't tow at owner's expense, I should say.
Well, the comment was for us to put up a gate and we can't do that as a
Correct.
city.
No, we legally we can't. We'd have problems with that.
A lot.
So I will give him a call.
Okay.
Maybe you could just put up a parking donation box there.
Yeah.
I mean,
even if they undercut us a little bit, it would.
At least the church would get something.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah. Churches do add a lot to our community, and that church does too. They help a lot of people out in our community.
Exactly.
So we will discuss it. Any other council input or information? If not, we have no correspondence, the general information. The meetings will have to comply with COVID-19 precautions. We are going to continue with the online meetings if we have to have another one through the end of the year. It looks like that legislation is going to pass, but we don't know. Anything could happen to extend it. But it's looking more promising now than it was earlier. So we just, if you know a lawmaker, or feel free to contact and tell them that it's kind of important for us. Like I said, there are townships very near us that are completely closed down. And they really weren't, I could kind of see it. They were not being very careful, to be honest with you. And it did catch up with them. Parks and Recreation will be determined. We already had our December meeting, so the next one will be when we approve the schedule for next year. That one hasn't been approved yet, but FEP meeting is scheduled for December 15th, 2020 at Water Tower Park. DDA is still to be determined. Planning scheduled for Tuesday, December 22nd, 4 o'clock at City Hall. City Council meeting Thursday, December 24th at 7 p.m. Happy Christmas Eve. And we probably may either change that or cancel that meeting. But we still may have a meeting if we have to act before the end of the year. But I think we wrapped up all of our year-end business. And I thank everyone for a very successful year and the hardest year probably we've all ever had to go through. Nobody signed up for this, but I really appreciate everyone's hard work to get us through this. And we will continue 2021 and hopefully see some light at the end of this tunnel. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Support.
We have motion, we have support. Any discussion?
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
All in
safe.
favor?
Merry Christmas.
All in favor? Aye.
All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none? Meeting adjourned. I don't know if you heard my gavel there, but that was it.
Be safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Good evening. Bye.
Bye.